Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to another Glacial Geek Kill Team Battle Report. I am Phil, the Glacial Geek, coming to you here from Casa de Neil, where I'm about to fight a kill team battle between the Gellerpox infected and the Elucidian Starstriders. Essentially, we're going to be using the rules from their rules from the Kill Team Annual 2022 that has all the rules for these guys that came out with Rogue Trader. We are going to be using the rules for Kill Team Into the Dark, so for the close combine rules, so, you know, opening doors, costing an action, the benefit being able to put on guard if you so desire, all those different things. We are going to be using the Kill Team 21 secondaries that you can choose, as well as the tac ops that you can choose from the faction tac ops that came with the rules that are in the Kill Team Annual. But we are going to be doing the mission from the Rogue Trader box set. So it's got the Rogue Trader board here, which is a little bit different size than Kill Team Into the Dark, but it works with the way they have it. But we'll play all of the walls as though they are the walls, and we'll just use the doors as though they are the porthole doors that you can just open, and you can do the porthole fight through the doors and such like that. We're going to play it all like that, but we are going to be doing the Shuttlejackers mission from the Rogue Trader. So essentially, these objectives that are on the table, at the end of each turning point, as opposed to battle round, you will control each one that you control. You will score 2 points, except for the one on the bridge up over here, which you will score 3 points if you have it. So we're going to be doing those primary mission that you can score there, and then we are going to be doing the secondary missions, the secondaries for the tac ops that you can choose normally from the way the kill team is now. So that is the mission, the story that we've got going on here, a little bit backwards, but I wanted to make sure I got that all up and cleared out so you guys can see what's going on with this. The story that we've got going on here is that the Starstriders are on their shuttle, and suddenly they find themselves, after a blip in the Geller field, suddenly a lot of unwanted guests start rising up from the bowels of their ship, trying to take over here. And they are trying to take over the ship and just control it for themselves. And the Starstriders are trying to control it for themselves to try to save their lives and hopefully get back to the main ship before they find themselves overrun by the Gellerpox that have been infected by this techno-virus and blip in the Geller field there. So that is the story. That is the mission that we are going to be playing. Before we go any further, though, let's show you the two kill teams that are going to be fighting it out. So for the Gellerpox infected, my kill team will consist of, from left to right over here, we have the Vulgar Thrice Cursed, we have a Bloat Spawn, we have a Flesh Screamer, we have a Lumbergeist, we have 3 Gellerpox mutants, we have 4 Glitchlings, we have 2 Curse Mites, and we have 2 Sludge Grubs. And for the Starstriders, from left to right here, we've got Elucia Vane, we've got a Canid, we have the, this is the Rejuvenate Adept, we have the Lectromeister, we have the Death Cult Executioner, we have the Voidsmaster, and then we have 4 Voidsmen. All right, so those are the kill teams going over deployment here. In the back here, I've got 2 Glitchlings, and I've got a Gellerpox mutant. Up here in this little room on this side here, up in the front there, we have, that is a Lumberghast. We have a Glitchling next to the door. We've got a mutant right there behind him, and we have a Bloat Spawn behind him. Those are the big boys. Over on this side, up there by the door, we have the Flesh Screamer. We've got a Glitchling on the left over there. We've got a mutant on the right. We have 2 of the, what are these things called? I was doing so well to remember them. Curse Mites back over here, as well as 2 Sludge Grubs. And we have the Thrice Cursed right there in the middle, getting ready to do his business, a Vulgar Thrice Cursed. Going over deployment here for the Starstriders. I'm just going to move this a second, see it a little bit better. We've got the Death Cult Assassin, as well as 3 of the Voidsmen. We've got the Canid and Elucidia herself right up over there. And then back over here, we have the... in the middle there, we've got the Lectromeister. We've got the, what is he called? The healer guy. The Rejuvenate Adept, as well as we have the Void Master on the left, and then right next to him is going to be a Voidsman with the special gun that he has. So that is deployment. We are now going to be doing the scouting phase. The way that works is you have 3 different options that you can choose from for the scouting phase. Number 1 is to fortify, which allows you to place an additional barricade. You have option number 2, which is infiltrate, which will allow you to change one of your operative's activation tokens during the first turning point, because otherwise you can't normally. And the third option is to recon, which is going to be a free dash action that you can take to go with that. So my opponent has chose his deployment zone here, so he will have, and the way this is going to work, when you choose those, we're going to put them down without knowing what each other has chosen, and we'll act like a rock, paper, scissors method to decide who goes first. So fortify beats infiltrate, infiltrate beats recon, recon beats fortify. And my opponent decided to choose his deployment zone, so that makes me the attacker, which means that I will have, if there's a tie, if we both choose the same one, I will have the initiative going into the first turning point. So we are now going to have dice in our hand, ready to go with our options here, 1, 2, or 3, and we will show them together. So here we go, 1, 2, 3. My opponent chose 1, so he will be fortifying, placing another barricade. I chose infiltrate, so I will be able to change one of my tokens. But my opponent chose fortify, so that means that he gets the initiative here going into turning point number 1. All right, so into the strategy step of the first turning point here, we both gained a CP, putting us at 3, and then we both spent CP on strategic ploys. My opponent spent 1 CP on stake claim, essentially placed a token on, basically put it on the objective over there, and essentially if he is shooting at one of my guys who is within range or within square of that, or if he's in combat with one of my guys within square of that, he can retain one of his hits as a normal hit, a successful normal hit without having to roll it, if they're within range over there. I have spent it on Blessing of Pox. Essentially, if he does a shooting attack against me, after I do my roll defense dice state, if the total value of the dice that I discard is equal to or greater than 7, I can retain 1 failed save as a normal regular save. Essentially, if I just really flub my saves, I get 1 save, which is good. And I think I'm going to need some help against shooting because he's got a lot of shooting going on here. So that is the tac ops there. I did have, that is the ploys that we did. I did have 1 tac op that I revealed, which is the faction specific tac op number 1 for the Gellerpox infected. That will be Rampant Nightmare. Essentially, I can reveal it at any reveal tac op step, but I've chosen to do it here because then I would start a Rampant Nightmare tally. And what happens is each time an enemy operative loses a wound from a Nightmare Hulk who is within engagement range of them, then I put a tally on there at the end of the game. If that tally is 30 or more, I score 1 VP. If it is 50 or more, I score an additional VP. So the only ones that have the Nightmare Hulk are going to be my 4 big boys, because they're the big boys. They're the Nightmare Hulks that are going to go there. So that is going to be it for the strategy step here. We will now move on to the firefight step. All right, so my opponent is going to go first here. He activated his Void Master over here. Essentially, he spent 1 APL to open the door there, and then moved up behind the barricade over here. My first activation will be my Glitchling, who will open the door and then move on to the objective. My opponent activated his Canid over here, who opened the door and then moved on to the objective over here. My Glitchling over here is going to open the hatch. My opponent activated the Voidsman over here, moving into position on this side. All right, so then my activation here, I activated my Flesh Screamer. He charged into the Canid over here, and then we are going to fight. So we are going to roll our dice here. I'm going to choose the Bash and Slash option, which is 5 attacks, hitting on 4s, doing 5-6 damage. My other option for this weapon here is the Lopping Blow. I could do 1 attack, hitting on a 3+, doing 8-9 damage with lethal 5+. So pretty brutal if you want to try to get it for that. Basically, it's, I guess you can choose if you just want to get that initial blow, if you think, you know, it's worth giving a shot there, trying to go for it or not. But I'm going to go for the multiple here. So I'm going to have 5 attacks here. My opponent has 4 attacks, but because he's within range there, he already is going to accept one of them as a regular hit there. So now we will roll our dice. All right, so I'm going to get 3 regular hits. My opponent hitting on 4 pluses for you, so he's going to have 1 crit and then 3 regular hits. We'll come back. All right, so what I did was my first thing was to strike here, doing 5 damage. My opponent then struck with his crit, doing 4 damage, and then I struck with my second, killing him. But the Gellerpox infected have disgustingly resilient, revoltingly resilient. Essentially, I get a 5-up, feel no pain. So he did 4 damage with that crit strike to me. So I'm going to have 5+, feel no pains on him here. Ignoring one of them. So I will take 3 damage to him there, putting him at 15 wounds still remaining. He's a big chunky boy. And I will reveal Robin Ransack here. So I will score a VP because I incapacitate a friendly an enemy operative within triangle of him, and that friendly operative is more than blue away from any other enemy operatives, scoring me a VP for that. And if he survives to the end of it, he will score me an additional VP. My opponent has now activated his Death Cult Assassin over here. She's going to spend her first APL to change her activation token from Conceal to Engage. Then she is going to charge into my Flesh Screamer, and now she is going to fight me. So I have 5 attacks because I'm going to be doing the Bash and Slash. My opponent's going to have her power weapons, so she's going to have 5 attacks. She's hitting on 2 pluses with lethal 5+, so critting on 5s and 6s. I'm hitting on 4 pluses here. Alrighty, so I've got 3 regular, and my opponent has a crit and 3 regular. We'll come back to you in a second. All right, we're actually both going to spend CPs to re-roll one of our failed dice there. I got a hit, and my opponent rolled a 1 again, so he's not going to be able to get it there. All right. All right, so what is going to happen now is my opponent first is going to strike with his crit, doing 6 damage to my guy. I'm going to be looking for 5-up, feel no pains because of being revoltingly resilient. Ignoring one of them, so I will take 5 damage down to 10. Then I will strike with one of my regular blows there, doing 5 damage. My opponent has Zealot, so he will reroll.
First, rapid reflexes, 5.
Oh, 1 second. Yeah, so he has Zealot, which is a 6-up feel no pain. So he'll roll his 5 dice, looking for 6s to ignore it. Ignoring one of them, so taking 4 damage there. Then my opponent will go for... And then my opponent struck with a regular shot there, doing 4 damage to me, and I struck with a regular one here. So I'm taking 4 damage for my regular one here to me, 5-up feel no pains. Ignoring one of them, so I'll take another 3, down to 7 wounds here. And my opponent looking for 6s. No, she gets 1, but she will still be dead and taken out of action there. Then I activated my Vulgar Thrice Cursed over here, who charged into his Voidsman over on this side over here. It should be noted that at the beginning of the turn here, because he was within range of this objective, I gained an additional CP. But now this objective is tainted, so that means that I can no longer get it from that one. It's basically if I'm within range of an objective when I get command points, I get an additional one if I'm by a new thing there. It's basically called Lead the Infection. So he made the charge over there. So I'm going to be attacking over here with my Flesh Meld weapons. They are engineered, which is their special rule. So at the beginning of the game, I got to choose 2 different options to give. So I added 1 to normal damage and added 1 to critical damage. There's some other things like you can make it balanced, brutal, lethal 5+, or rending. I just went with that, which made my life a little bit easier here. So I'm going to have 5 dice here, 5 attacks looking for 3s. My opponent's going to be hitting me with a gun butt. He's going to have 3 attacks looking for 4s. All right, so I got a crit and 3 regular hits there. My opponent got 1 regular. We'll come back to you. All right, so my first dice that I'm going to use there will be to parry his, and then I will give him all the other damage there and kill him outright. My opponent's going to activate his Electro Maestro, or Meister, over here, and move up into position over here. My Gellerpox mutant is going to activate and move and open the door while he does so, moving up to there. The Rejuvenate Adept is going to open the door and move up to position there. I used my Infiltrate ability to change the activation token for this mutant over here, and then I moved and dashed him onto the objective over on this side. This Voidsman over here moved and dashed into position on this side. This Curse Mite is going to move and dash into position over here. My opponent activated his Voidsman with the heavy gun over here. He dashed into position over there and then put him on guard, which is one of the Into the Dark special rules, which allows him to interrupt some of my actions if I take them. My Curse Mite activated, moved and dashed into position over here. Then my opponent passed with the Voidsman over here and the Lucidia, trying to hold on to the objective there, and then I am moved with these two sludge grubs over here, moved and dashed into position. My Glitchling over here activated, opening that door. So now my opponent is going to overwatch with his guy with the heavy gun there. He's going to fire everything into my guy here, because the problem is his first thought was he wanted to shoot at my mutant back here as well, because it has fusillade, so he wants to put some shots in there. But because of the way the rules work in Into the Dark, anytime a line of sight crosses over another operative, friendly or non-friendly, unless that friendly operative is in base to base with you, you have to reduce the number of attacks, the shots that you take there, by 1. So he didn't want to lose 1 extra shot shooting into him over here, so he's just going to put everything into my big bad boy over there. So he's going to have 6 shots here, looking for 5s because it's -1 for Overwatch. Getting a crit. My opponent's going to spend a CP to reroll one of those. Okay, not meant to be there. So I do have on him, what am I going to have here? That is the Lumbergeist, or Lumbergast. I don't know how you spell that. What do we do? 3 dice, looking for 5s here. Getting the 1, so that's all, but it's a crit, and that's only equal to 6. Oh, I'm going to spend a CP to reroll one of this. Into another 5. So those 2 will combine to cancel out the crit there, making him okay. Woo! I then activated my Lumbergast there. He is going to spend 1 AP I should say, on Spiked Charge. It's essentially I do a regular charge, but then each enemy operative within engagement range after I do that charge suffers D3 mortal wounds. So I just charged up, only got into it with the 1 guy, so he will suffer D3 mortal wounds, taking 1 mortal wound. And then we will go into the fight. So I'm going to have 4 dice here, looking for 4+ with my Mutant Claw, doing 6-7 damage, and it is brutal, so it cannot be parried except with. You cannot parry except except for crits. Yeah, you have to block with crits. You have to parry with crits. My opponent is going to have I think Gunbutt, right? Yep. So he's going to be attacking with his Gunbutt. So he's going to have 3 attacks, looking for 4+ with the Voidsmaster here. All right. Okay, so I got 2 strikes over here, and my opponent got 2 strikes as well. We'll come back. I'm going to spend my last CP to reroll one of those into a 4, which will be a hit. All right, so what happened here is I will strike with my first one here, but the Voidsmaster has a special rule called Hardy, which once per turning point, he can turn 1 dice's attack into him to 0 damage. So that did 0 damage to him. He struck me here, I struck here, he struck me here, and then this final strike killed him. So it knocked him out, but he did do 4 wounds to me with those 2 gun butt attacks there. I do have Revoltingly Resilient here on 5+ ignoring. Ignoring 2 of them. So I will take 2 damage, putting him down to 16. All right, so then I just had a couple more operatives to activate here. This Glitchling opened the door, moved onto the objective here. This mutant moved and dashed up into position there. And this guy moved and then opened the door between there, giving him some options for next turning point, which we will now roll off to see who has initiative going into turning point number 2. Ooh, I rolled a 5. My opponent rolled a 6, so he will have initiative going to the Elucidian Starstriders here on turning point number 2. Into the second turning point here for the strategic step of the turning point, we both gained a CP. My opponent spent 1 CP on lethal proximity, which is if he's doing a shooting attack against my guys and he's within red of them, he gets to reroll 1 of his attack dice if he so desires. My opponent, I did not spend anything. My opponent also revealed one of his attack ops, which is Central neutral control, so he needs to try to get more APL within blue of the center of the board than me. It's a bit of a tough ask, but you know, we'll see what happens. You always got to hope, always got to try. So we'll come back to you with the firefight step. All right, so my opponent's going to activate his Electromaester to go first here. He's going to step back because he was within blue of my guy. My guys have the Techno Curse, which means that he would have one less shot if he was shooting with it. But this weapon is Splash, so he will be able to have it as lethal 5+ because of the close confines. It will also happen to hit all three of these guys. It can't go through the wall over here, so it will only hit these three guys if he does get the Splash there. So it will be a lethal 5+. So he's going to have 4 shots here. Looking for 3s, is it?
4s.
Oh, looking for 4s. 5s and 6s are crits. All right, so he's going to get the 1 crit into him over there. I will be in cover over here.
I get 1 reroll because of...
Oh, yeah, he does get 1 reroll because he is within red there. Okay, so that's going to be 2 crits. I am going to... I'm going to take 1 regular save for cover over there. So I'll just take the 1 regular save, and then I'm going to have 2 other dice that I'm rolling for saves here, looking for 5s and 6s. Getting a crit. So crit and regular, the regular ends up not being worth anything, so the crit will cancel out one of his crit damages there. But it is going to do 2 mortal wounds to all of those 3 guys. And it does, what's the damage on it? 4 damage. So my main guy there is going to take, he's going to take, whatchamacallit, 6 wounds over here. So he's going to have 6 damage to him. So he's got the disgustingly or revoltingly resilient. So looking for 5 up, feel no pains. Getting 1 of those, he will take 5 damage. We'll do 2 onto the big guy in the back over there. He'll ignore 1 of them, taking 1, and onto the mutant, he will ignore 1, taking 1. All right. I then activated my Vulgar Thrice Cursed, who is going to charge into Elucidia and the Voidsman over here. And I'm going to put all my attacks into the Voidsman here. I'm going to have 5 attacks looking for 3 pluses to hit. Just the Voidsman and the Elucidia.
Oh, okay.
Charging into there, yeah. So it's going to be, all my attacks are going to go into, fighting with Elucidia.
Okay.
So it's going to be 5 attacks here. These are going to be hitting on 3 pluses with my Flesh Meld weapons. Remember, I got +1 damage to the regular and to the critical. And my opponent is attacking back. She's got her, what does she have? Monomolecular Cane Rapier. So it's going to be 4 attacks, hitting on 3s, but she'll get +1 because of the extra Voidsman that's engaged there. So she's going to be hitting on 2s. Lethal 5+ on those. All right. All right, so I have my strikes into Elucidia over here. So I had the 1 strike, and then my opponent struck with 1 of the crits, doing 6 damage, and then I struck, incapacitating her. So I've got 6 dice here because she did 6 damage to me, looking for feel no pains of 5+. Pretty good on that one, ignoring 3 of them, so he will take 3 damage, putting him down to 16 because that's my big boy. And unfortunately, the Rejuvenate Adept over there would be able to bring someone back, or basically keep them from dying the first time they're knocked out there. But unfortunately, she was in engagement range, so you can't do that while my big hulking guy is there. It's also worth noting that I did get Headhunter, scoring 2 VP since it is in the second turning point that I killed his leader. My opponent activated his Voidsman over here with the heavy gun, who is going to dash back over there and then fire into my dude bro over here. So he's going to have, what is it again? 6 shots here, hitting on 4s. So, and we're still within red, but outside of the blue, so he's not losing a shot, but he can reroll 1 of these dice if he so desires. Yeah, reroll that 1. There you go. Okay, not meant to be, but that's still not bad. So that's going to be a crit and 4 regular hits there. I'm going to take 1 regular save from the cover there, and then 2 others here, getting a crit save and just 1 regular save. So that's going to ignore the crit and the regular, and 1 regular. So what is the damage on this?
3 hits, which is 9 damage.
So it's 3 damage per, because I also ignore 1 of your regular ones as well. I
already pulled that one away.
Yeah, but you did the crit. You get 4 hits.
I pulled the crit and
1 second. All right, so it was so it was 3 hits then at the end of it there. So that's going to be 9 total damage into me over here. I got the feel no pain. I ignore 1, 2, 3 of those, so I will take 6 more damage, putting him down to 5. I'm now going to activate my bloat spawn over here. When I did so, I spent 1 CP on Barge, which allows him to just like go through other operatives when he makes this charge move, or does any move, honestly. So he moved there. He still takes the -1 circle for going over the barrier there, but he's still able to get in combat with the Electromeister. So I'm going to charge into him and then fight him over there. The Barge allowing him to go through his dude bro friend that was blocking him over there. So I'm going to attack with, I've got 2 options with this weapon, but I'm going to do the Grasp and Slash, so it's going to be 6 attacks, hitting on 4s, doing 3, 4 damage. And what's his attacks over here? 3 dice, looking for 4s. So here we go. I'm going to be hitting on 4s, so I'm going to have 3 regular hits. My opponent has none, so that is going to be 9 damage, which is enough to take him out. All right, so now my opponent's Voidsman over here is going to activate. He's going to fire into my Gellerpox mutant over here. So it's going to be -1 shot to this because of being within range of my Techno Curse, sorry. And now he's going to roll, hitting on 4s, getting 2 crits and a regular hit, re-rolling 1 of those because of the strategic ploy that he spent there, into a hit. So it's gonna be 2 crits and a hit. Pretty good there. I'm gonna have 3 dice here, looking for 5+ saves, getting 1 crit, so it'll ignore 1 of the crits, but then it's 3, 4 damage, right? So it's gonna do 7 damage to him. So let's see if I can ignore these. If I ignore none of them, he's dead. But I ignore so many of them. He takes 1 damage? You kidding me? Woo! All right, he took that shot straight in the face with his hot shot las gun there, and he is going to charge into that Voidsman. I'm going to have 4 attacks here with the improvised weapon and mutated limb, hitting on 4s, doing 2, 3 damage, but it's also relentless, so I can re-roll everything here. And my opponent's got 3 dice, looking for 4s. All right. I'll take the 2 hits and then re-roll the 2 misses. Getting 1 more hit there. So it's going to be 3 total hits, doing 6 damage, which I believe he's still alive though, right? With 1 wound left. All right, so now my opponent's Voidsman is going to activate. He's going to go to active there, as opposed to being in conceal. And he is going to attack into me, my Vulgar Thrace Curse. So I'm going to have 4 attacks again, or 5 attacks, I should say, with my flesh meld weapons. My opponent's got his 3 attacks with his gun butt there. All right, I'm hitting on 3s. Oh, he's got 3 crits. That's how you do that. And I'm hitting on 3s. So that was man, we're going to be punching each other. All right, so my opponent struck with 1 of his crits. I struck back with 1 of my regulars. He struck with a crit, and then my other regular will kill him. And then so I took 6 damage total from that. Feel no pains. Ignore 2 of them, so I take 4 total damage. And with that, I've maxed out my faction op here. The faction tac op, getting 50, I think it ended up being like 52 at this point, but that's all the max at 50, getting my 2 victory points from that. I then activated my Flesh Screamer over here. He is wounded, but so is the guy he's charging over there, so I'm gonna have 5 attacks looking for 5s. My opponent's gonna have 3 attacks looking for 5s. Here we go. I got 1, which is actually all I need because he's got the 1 wound left, and I will just strike with that, taking him out. My opponent activated his Rejuvenate, who's going to fire into my guy here. So he moved back, so he's out of range for the Techno Curse, and now going to fire here. So these are going to be how many shots? The last pistol?
4 shots.
4 shots. Looking for 4s, re-rolling 1 because of the ploy, the strategic ploy. All right, so re-rolling 1 of those. Got the 1 hit so far. Nope, just going to be the 1 hit. I've got 3 dice looking for 5s, getting at least 1, so he is good to go. All right, so my next move was going to be to activate this guy over here. He's just going to move and dash to get some cover over on this side. And then I will have moved over here because he's just going to do his 2 overwatches over here. We're going to start with the big gun first into my bro there with the tentacle arm. So it's going to be 6 shots, right?
Normally, but he's...
oh, is he within blue? Oh, he's within blue. So it's going to be 5 shots because of the Techno Curse. So it's going to be 5 shots, hitting on 5s because it's Overwatch here. 5 shots hitting on 5s. All right, getting a crit and a hit. Is it each time they shoot? 1 second. Yeah, it's each time, so it gets to re-roll one of those, which is good. So got a crit and a hit. Not going to be a hit there, so it's going to be that. I'm looking for 5s on my defense. Not getting any of them, so that's going to be a crit and a regular hit. What's the damage on that total?
4 and 3.
4 and 3, so 7 total wounds. Looking for 5 up, feel no pains. Ignoring one of them, so I will take 6 damage. And she will also overwatch into him over here. She's not in range of the Techno Curse, so she's going to have all her shots here, but still hitting on 5s, I believe.
Yes.
All right, re-rolling one of those. Not bad. Crit and a hit, and then re-rolling one of those. Nope, not meant to be. Looking for 5s and 6s. Getting 1, so I'll block the regular hit and just take the 1 crit, which is how much damage?
Last pistol.
On that damage?
3.
3. Feel no pains. No, feel all of them. And then I will have moved and dashed onto over here, and that is going to be the end of the turning point, essentially. Everyone's going to stay where they're at. And that is where we are going to call the game, because the Gellerpox swarmed and have taken over this shuttle. They're probably going to pretend to be Elucidia as they get into the main ship and take it over for themselves, flying across the galaxy, spreading their techno curse wherever they go. The Gellerpox infecting all. So a brutal game there. The Gellerpox really got into it really quick, which I think is going to be trouble if you ever get into it, because they've got such powerful moves that they can do. If they start getting into the thick of things really quick, it becomes hard to really beat them back. So, yeah, a brutal game, but fun to be able to play with these models again, and playing with the rules here. So it works, you know, dust off your old, don't throw them out, don't throw out those old boards. The arena worked well with it too, and these boards, like all these close confines rules, now that you've got the rules with Into the Dark, it should be totally easy to use, and it's fun to use these kill teams the way they are. So, I hope you guys have all enjoyed this. I certainly have. I have been Phil, the Glacial Geek. As always, my opponent's been Chris, and until next time, stay safe and have fun.